É isso aí, pessoal. Algumas marcas, bom, mas estou bem. Descansar um pouco. Já tô voltando, né? Como eu sempre fiz.
Alex Pereira refuses to dwell on his UFC 313 loss against Magomed Ankalaev, vowing to make immediate adjustments and return stronger.
Fazer essa revanche aí e ajustar algumas coisas, né? E voltar muito melhor. Pode esperar isso, tá bom, pessoal? E é isso. Nunca desista dos seus sonhos. Chama!
Magomed Ankalaev's victory over Alex Pereira at UFC 313 marked a significant shift in the light heavyweight division, ending Pereira's title reign in a closely contested 5-round battle. Many fans and analysts had expected Ankalaev to lean on his wrestling skills, but he surprised the audience by outstriking Pereira for large portions of the fight. This unexpected turn led commentator Joe Rogan to describe Pereira's performance as out of character. Despite a strong effort from the Brazilian, the judges unanimously scored the fight in Ankalaev's favor, crowning him the new champion. Pereira had been one of the most active champions in the division, frequently stepping up to headline events on short notice. Leading up to UFC 313, he had the opportunity to break John Jones's record for the shortest time between 4 title defenses. However, that goal was cut short by Ankalaev's well-rounded attack. While some fans took issue with the judge's decision, UFC President Dana White stood by the outcome, expressing his belief that the right man won.
How did you have the main event scored?
What's the question?
How did you have the main event scored?
I don't know if I had the exact score in my head, but I thought Ankalaev won the fight.
In the aftermath of the fight, Pereira quickly addressed his fans through social media. Despite the visible damage from the fight, he assured everyone that he was feeling fine and would return to training soon. Reflecting on the loss, he mentioned that he had been in this situation before and would use the experience to make improvements. Surrounded by his family and team, Pereira remained optimistic, focusing on adjustments he planned to implement for a potential rematch.
É isso aí, pessoal. Algumas marcas, bom, mas estou bem. Descansar um pouco. Já tô voltando, né? Como eu sempre fiz. Já aconteceu algumas vezes isso comigo, mas, eu tô bem, né? Agradeço todo o apoio de vocês, né? Com todo o carinho, sempre me apoiando. Estou recebendo muitas mensagens também de grande incentivo. Estou aqui com o pessoal, minha família, meu time, meus filhos, tá todo mundo aqui, todo mundo comendo aqui. Aí, ó, vamos pedir umas pizzas e é isso, né? Vida que segue. Obrigado a todo mundo, né? Obrigado ao meu time. E é isso, pessoal. Fazer essa revanche aí e ajustar algumas coisas, né? E voltar muito melhor. Pode esperar isso, tá bom, pessoal? E é isso. Nunca desista dos seus sonhos. Chama!
White seemed to support the idea of a rematch as well. When asked if Pereira would get an immediate shot at reclaiming his title, he responded with a simple but telling word: probably. This statement hinted at the UFC's plans to run the fight back, acknowledging how competitive the matchup had been. Given Pereira's history of bouncing back from setbacks, many expect him to return with a new strategy aimed at overcoming Ankalaev's approach.
It was, not what I expected. Expected a lot more shooting, expected a lot more exchanges.
Clearly we don't matchmake on fight night, but a fight that close with a champion as great as Pereira has been, do you lean towards immediate rematch?
Probably.
Ankalaev, now the newly crowned champion, did not hold back in his assessment of Pereira's performance. He claimed that he had been the aggressor throughout the fight, while Pereira spent much of the bout avoiding exchanges. Expressing frustration with Pereira's movement, Ankalaev stated that he was open to a rematch, but hoped that if it happened, Pereira would engage more and not, in his words, run away. Having waited a long time for his title shot, Ankalaev made it clear that under his reign, contenders would have the opportunity to challenge for the belt, signaling his willingness to face all comers.
Yeah. Kind of some tight rounds to score as well. All 3 judges had you winning 2, 3, and 4. At the end of 5 rounds, how confident did you feel that you had won the fight?
Yeah, I was confident. I kept on moving forward. I kept pressuring him, and he kept on running away from me. For 20 minutes, this guy was running away from me. And then I heard at the end of the fight, he was saying that, he wasn't sure why the victory was given to me. Who's supposed to be given the victory? I've been pressuring him the entire time. He was running for 20 minutes, and then he's wondering who's supposed to get the victory. Listen, I'm happy for a rematch if he wants a rematch, but then maybe in the rematch he could fight for real, not just run away the entire time.
Jamahal Hill, a recent opponent of Pereira, also had something to say about the fight's outcome. Leading up to UFC 313, Hill had predicted that Ankalaev would win, despite his personal dislike for the Russian fighter. He argued that Ankalaev's striking abilities had been underrated and that his counter-striking style would pose significant problems for Pereira. Once his prediction came true, Hill wasted no time responding to his critics. He took to social media to call out those who had dismissed his analysis, insisting that his breakdown of the fight had been accurate. Though some assumed he was celebrating Pereira's loss out of spite, Hill clarified that he respected Pereira and was simply standing by his original assessment. He posted, "Lamau, y'all are pathetic. I didn't care who won. I called the fight, how I saw, and talk got mad, and clearly don't know some about fighting. Cheeto Dust Warriors just talking riding a man that don't even know y'all. Me and Alex are cool and respect each other anytime we meet." Yuri Prochazka, another former champion with a history against Pereira, also reacted to the UFC 313 main event. Having previously lost twice to Pereira, Prochazka had been vocal about wanting a trilogy fight. However, after Ankalaev's victory, he shifted his focus and acknowledged the new champion's impressive performance. While many fans criticized Ankalaev's style for being too methodical, Prochazka recognized the effectiveness of his pressure. Still, he made it clear that he remained hungry for the title, offering to face either Ankalaev or Pereira next, depending on how the division played out. He posted, "Congrats to Ankalaev, beautiful pressure. Most people don't like it, but you won the title for now. Alex Pereira UFC, last dance, or better idea. Let's go straight to hunt the title." Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev congratulated Ankalaev on his achievement. With Ankalaev's victory, Dagestan added another championship to its growing legacy in the sport. Makhachev acknowledged his fellow countryman's success and welcomed him into the ranks of active Russian UFC champions alongside himself. Islam posted, "Another belt goes to Dagestan, Russia. Congratulations, brother. Excellent performance." The former lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov also sent a message of congratulations, further solidifying the significance of Ankalaev's win for the region. He posted, "Congratulations, brother Ankalaev. You made a history. It was amazing performance against very tough opponent." Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson said that Ankalaev did a very good job of being basic, which was enough to put up against Alex Pereira. Mighty Mouse said that Ankalaev didn't take risks and overextended his shots, which helped him be in control of the fight on the feet.
Ankalaev is doing a good job of being very basic. And what I mean by basic, you keep your hands up. When he starts to throw, you don't overextend. You get super close. So when I get super close and I start exchanging with him, there's not my room for error is it's minimized, right? If I'm this far away from him and I try to punch Alex Pereira and he's moving away, and I know I'm going to miss, and then when I try to retract myself back into my home, he has the opportunity to counter me because the window of opportunity is a lot open. It's wider, but if I'm closer and I'm like, fuck, he's moving, okay, I'm gonna go like this, boom, boom, I don't have to extend as far to get to him.
Mighty Mouse thought the fight was very anticlimactic and didn't deliver the way he imagined it to be. However, he also believed that Ankalaev fought with a very smart strategy to win the fight.
It was very anticlimactic. Like when the fight was over, I was like, God, that was it? Was that 5 rounds? So is it over? And when I think like that, I feel that Ankalaev played a very, very smart strategy game.
Mighty Mouse pointed out that the calf kick wasn't having the impact Pereira wanted it to have, which we all know is a major part of the Brazilian's game plan going into his fights. Secondly, he believed that Pereira never looked like he was about to go or enter his flow state that he usually does, because Ankalaev was doing a great job of being close and not letting him get started.
Wasn't really getting a reaction from the calf kick. Ankalaev wasn't really addressing the calf kick. You know, a couple times he was saying it, he was checking it, but he wasn't really addressing it. But not really big reaction. No urgency to be able to like, oh God, I gotta get to him. Oh God, this is hurting. I think that was the first thing. And two, if Alex Pereira can't get to that flow state, meaning that if I go jab and slip 2-3 or 2 slip 2-3, You watch when he does all the sparring, when he's sparring in Korea, when he's sparring in Australia, or when he's hitting pads. It needs to be that pop, 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 pop. It needs to be that flow state. He wasn't able to get there. The reason why is because Ankalaev did a good job of getting extremely close to.
Ultimately, Mighty Mouse said that even though we all expected the grand knockout from Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev did a very good job at mixing up his striking as well as wrestling, which was something the Brazilian never had to face before. This thing was the deciding factor for Johnson, which he believed made Ankalaev take control of the fight and in the end win the decision in his favor.
And all the other guys he's fought has never tried to threaten a takedown as much as Ankalaev has. I mean, Yuri Prohaska did, but he got elbowed and then got knocked out. And then the second time they fight, he threw the high kick and got knocked out. You saw Alex Pereira try to throw that high kick. Magomed was doing a good job always keeping his hand up high, so that was nothing. But the fight was very anticlimactic because we thought it was going to be a big knockout. You know, you got Potan, come out there doing that. And I mean, Ankalaev just did a very good job of getting extremely close to Alex Pereira, not overexposing himself.
Mighty Mouse wants Alex Pereira to move up to heavyweight. He believes that Alex is at the later part of his career, and a move up to the heavyweight would eliminate the worry for weight cuts.
So what I would like to see from Alex Pereira is him go up to heavyweight. Reason why is because I feel it's a better move for him. He's getting older. He doesn't have to worry about that heavy weight cut. Yes, he's gonna be fighting bigger athletes, but you know, John Jones didn't have to get all big and thick like he did and to beat Sorogan. I feel like John Jones at a shredded John Jones at 215, 225 could have blew the bricks off Sorogan.
Tim Welch said that Ankalaev was the more dominant fighter during the fight, and his forward approach helped him stand out in the judges' eyes. Even though he put Pereira on the fence and it might not look enough, Welch believed that this approach from Ankalaev was enough for the judges to go for him instead of the Brazilian, who wasn't looking to engage during the whole fight.
Our hero, Alex Pereira, goes down by the Russian grappler. But when you can pin someone on the fence and stay busy, it looks good in the judge's eyes. There's no judge that is gonna call you winning with you being on your back on the fence, even if they're not doing much. Ankalaev did just such a good job keeping the underhook, keeping the head position, and just kept Pereira pinned. Ankalaev, it shows you how good the guy is though.
Welch said that Ankalaev mixed well and had a great game plan to secure the victory. However, he also gave credit to Pereira for keeping up well against the wrestling heavy style of Ankalaev and not going down throughout the fight.
Magomed earned it, had a great game plan, came out there, mixed up the shots, got in deep on the shots, and Pereira had a good whizzer, trusts his whizzer. Such a tall, dense dude that Ankalaev couldn't even lift him off the mat, and he ends up getting the decision. So that's that. UFC 313.
Welch also wants Pereira to move up to the heavyweight now and compete with some of the big names there. He has high praise for Pereira and knows that the Brazilian would do good against big boys.
I kind of wish they would have saved Alex Pereira and just moved him to heavyweight. I still think he would compete very well at heavyweight, and I hope he maybe goes there. Gets a fight versus who? I mean, Volkov, Cyril Gane. Volkov's number 3, Cyril Gane's number 2. Tom Aspinall's number 1. Rumor has it they're trying to set up John Jones, Aspinall. So who knows? But it just shows you Alex Pereira, he is the man.
Brendan Schaub was among those who felt the decision was unjust, claiming Pereira had clearly won 3 rounds. He made his stance clear, calling out the judges for what he saw as a poor decision. He posted, "Garbage decision, Alex Pereira UFC, clear as day, 1/3. Enjoy that new champ." On the other hand, former 2-division UFC champion Henry Cejudo commended Ankalaev for his calculated approach, calling his execution flawless. He also hyped up a potential rematch between the two fighters, believing it could be something special. He posted, "What a performance put forth by Magomed Ankalaev. Tactical game plan executed to perfection. The rematch will be legendary." Former UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling weighed in as well, describing the fight as a chess match. He credited Ankalaev for controlling Pereira in crucial moments, which he believed made the difference in securing the victory. He posted, "Good chess match. Ankalaev controlled Pereira a lot in key moments to take the rounds. Great story for Ankalaev to become the new champ." Matt Brown had a firm stance on the outcome, scoring the fight overwhelmingly in favor of Ankalaev while also critiquing the judges. He posted, "I got it 4-1 Ankalaev, but these judges." He then followed up with a statement on Ankalaev's fundamentals, emphasizing that discipline and basic techniques are what truly lead to championship success. All the fancy techniques can make great highlights and win some big fights, but Ankalaev showed again that great discipline and great fundamentals win championships. Chase Hooper jokingly reacted to Ankalaev's grappling heavy strategy, sarcastically suggesting a radical rule change. That's it, let's ban grappling in MMA. Alexander Rakic kept his reaction short and to the point, offering congratulations to the new champion. Congrats to the new LHW champion, Magomed Ankalaev. Terrence McKinney was among those who were impressed by Pereira's overall growth in the sport, despite the loss. He acknowledged that Pereira's defensive improvements were evident in the fight. He posted, "Alex P may have lost, but man, the MMA growth has been crazy. Takedown defense was on point." Bantamweight contender Marlon Cheeto Vera saw the fight differently, believing Pereira had done enough to win. He posted, "I think Chama took it." Ariel Helwani believed that Pereira losing to Ankalaev is a disaster for the UFC, considering how popular the Brazilian has gotten over the years. Helwani doesn't remember an instance where a fighter as popular as Pereira lost to a very not popular fighter like Ankalaev.
And if I was at UFC 313, that's the first question that I would ask Dana White, and he wouldn't admit to it, but make no mistake about it, this is a nightmare scenario for the UFC. And I say that only because Alex Pereira, and I was trying to rack my brain as we were getting ready to go here, Alex Pereira is arguably the most popular active fighter in the UFC right now. I was trying to find a historical comparison to this moment. Supremely popular fighter losing the belt to a not so popular fighter, and I can't really think of one. Like, I'm thinking of RDA beating Anthony Pettis at UFC 185, but that's not really fair to RDA, and he didn't really hold the title for all that long, and Pettis didn't hold the title for all that long. I'm thinking of Carlos Esparza beating Rose Namajunas at 274, but still it doesn't quite feel the same. I feel like this is unique. This has never been done before. This has never happened before.
Ariel addressed the UFC star problem and highlighted how fighters like Ankalaev and Belal Muhammad don't get opportunities as fast as some of the more popular fighters in the company, despite performing well.
Don't listen to me. Don't believe me when I tell you that this is a nightmare. Just look at the UFC's actions. They did everything in their power not to give this guy a title shot because they did not want to face the reality of him being a champion. Same situation with Belal Muhammad, and the same situation ended up happening.
Despite all this, Ariel had Pereira winning the fight by 3-2. He gave the first, third, and fifth rounds to Pereira, which tells that it was a close fight. Assessing the scorecard, Ariel noted that the third round was the only round that was hard to score. Other than that, every other round had a clear winner.
I scored it for Alex Pereira, and that's a shoot. That's from the heart. I had it 3-2 for him. I thought he won 48-47. First round was easy to score. Alex Pereira. Second round, easy to score, Magomed Ankalaev. We'll skip the third for a moment. Fourth, easy to score, Ankalaev. Fifth, easy to score, Pereira. It all came down to the third round. Yeah. I had it for Alex Pereira. It appears as though the judges here, I'm looking at it in real time, Ankalaev. They all had it for Ankalaev. You get 49-46 and 2 48-47s. I have no idea how... Did one judge not? Can we put that back up?
Round 3 was the swing. Round 3 was the swing.
No, but they all gave the How did Sal D'Amato get? He gave him the fifth round.
He gave him the
Get
fifth.
The fuck out of here with the fifth.
Michael Bisping said that it was a very lazy performance by Alex Pereira. Bisping was surprised that Ankalaev didn't do anything about the calf kicks, but he also pointed out that it was the only thing that he had for Pereira. Other than that, Bisping said that Alex was great in his takedown defense, but all in all, it was a very lazy performance by the champion.
Great takedown defense from Alex Pereira. He stopped 10 or 11 takedowns. Wasn't even really close to getting taken down. However, in all, it was a pretty lazy performance from Alex Pereira. He won the first round. He chipped away with low calf kicks. It's surprising that Magomed Ankalaev didn't have a reason, didn't do his homework, didn't at least try and check some of them. Because when you watch Alex Pereira, you know what he's going to do. He's going to kick it out of your legs. Then he's going to come upstairs. He's going to look for the left hook. He's going to chammer you all day long. But outside of that, in the first round, he really didn't do too much.
Bisping said that Ankalaev did a great job at controlling the fight. Talking about Pereira, Bisping said that he didn't see the desire in Pereira's eyes as someone who wants to defend his belt. Bisping pointed out that even though Ankalaev didn't get a single takedown, the threat of takedown was enough to pressure Pereira during the fight, which ultimately played in favor for Ankalaev on the feet.
From Alex Pereira, it was just kind of a lazy performance. I didn't see that real desire to want to win. Listen, Ankalaev was big, he was strong, he was good enough to compete on the feet, and of course, he had the takedown threat. And even though he didn't get the takedown, the threat of the takedown, we always say it, that was as good as getting the takedown because it opened up the strikes for him and it stopped Pereira from being overly aggressive and didn't want to go forward too much.
Bisping said that Ankalaev was the deserving winner because he was the aggressor and had more output in the fight. Bisping defined Pereira's performance as lazy, not because he looked tired or gassed out during the fight, but because he was not engaging well enough and having a good output like Ankalaev did. Bisping believed that this was the deciding factor in the fight.
He said you shouldn't win a fight by pushing somebody up against the fence.
Putting me up against the cage, he didn't really do anything.
But in mixed martial arts, we see that happen all the time. And to be honest, Ankalaev landed the bigger shots, he was more aggressive, he was going forward, and there was just more output. As I say, it was a lazy performance. Now, he wasn't lazy in terms of Pereira wasn't trying. It wasn't lazy that he was out of breath and tired and didn't prepare, even though he did get a little bit tired as the fight progressed, but that's normal. But the wrestling from Ankalaev certainly added to that. But what I mean by lazy is just the general amount of output that we saw. It just wasn't there. The appetite, the thirst, the hunger, whatever you want to call it, I didn't see it tonight. And that's why Magomed Ankalaev is now the light heavyweight champion of the world, and he beat him at his own game.
So how did you react to this fight? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.